Example 2, we're going to graph this inequality. So it's a parabola, it's quadratic, but I do need to complete the square to find my vertex here. So this is just the same inequality symbol. Instead of an equal sign, the method to completing the square will be the same. So I'm going to put my blank there and determine my new c value. So remember the formula is b over 2 squared. So negative 4 over 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. So I add 4. To balance it out, you need to subtract 4 over here. So we have y is less than, we write this as the square of the binomial. So if it was factored, it would look like y equals x minus 2 squared minus 9. Essentially, that's the square root of 4 that we put the 2 here. So our vertex is going to be 2 and negative 9. So 2 and negative 9. And I just want to make sure it's a solid line, which I probably automatically would have drawn, but we're going to make a note of that so you know that that was something you had to consider. Okay, so as we're going to connect or draw these points, we're going to move over 1, up 1, over 2, up 4, over 3, up 9, and you can continue it further if you wish. Over 4 would be up 16, 4 squared 16, so that was 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. If you don't, that's fine too. And now we're going to connect these. I'm just going to use a pencil so that it's a little more clear to draw here. I'm going to put my arrows at the end. This graph continues. Okay, now I need to test a point. So when I test a point, as long as I pick any point that's not on the parabola itself, so I'm going to test 0, 0. It's inside the parabola, but that's fine. So I like to test it in the original equation, plus that's often a little easier to do. And that way, if I made any errors since then, it's not going to be noticed. I'm still going to get the correct value here. So 0 is less than or equal to negative 5. So 0 is not less than or equal to negative 5. So we're going to say false. So that means because 0, 0 was inside, that's inside's not part of the solution. It's got to be outside. So you're going to shade outside the parabola. Now, when you're shading outside the parabola, you want to be careful. So what I would recommend is that, okay, hang on, let me just get to the top. I'm going to shade and color all of this. But when you get to the top, remember these arrowheads continue. So I don't want my shading to go straight up and to start shading over here. I definitely also don't want me to my shading to go over top above here. That would be incorrect. So I honestly usually just shade. I'm going to erase this a bit, even though that wasn't incorrect or anything. But I usually just shade to the top of my arrows, and then I'm not kind of at risk of shading where I should not on the outside of the parabola. Okay, so as long as you clearly shade around there, including the little bottom part here as well.